Thank you, Michelle, um, thank you, Michelle, for your wisdom in this last story. And in particular, this journey that I feel like many of the people in this room have been on, from starting to think about improvement as pieces and parts, to thinking about improvement as the on-ramp to powerful ideas, is foundational. So thank you for reminding us of that. And to build on that, a friend of mine, so let me tell you, I was going to start this, and I am going to start this by saying, I've been doing this work a long time. I've been chasing this dream of how we place powerful tools for thinking and change in the hands of every student every day for more than the last 30 years. And I'm still on that road, on that journey. But that journey has been made vastly better by coming to understand something about improvement methods. And both of you are right that these methods can apply to all walks of what it means to be human. And we have a responsibility to do so. Why? Because changing the way organizations work is excruciatingly hard. And even when you have a good idea about how to do it, the ideas we have are often brittle and not very resilient. So you can feel like you're marching down the road to something good, and some bad thing comes to push the organization in one direction, and it all goes to S, you can finish. And that has happened to me many times in my career. I'll tell you about one. A lot of years ago when I lived in the city of Chicago, and I had to say, I live in the West now, and I grew up in New York, but Chicago is an extraordinarily wonderful place to live. And Chicago schools have gotten better over the years because of work you all do, but they can be better yet. But back in the day, when I was a professor at Northwestern University, my colleagues and I spent about 8 years in a public high school in Chicago. And we had speaking of access to powerful ideas, we had a goal that for every child in that high school every year would do 2 large independent projects or collaborative projects in their subjects. And after 8 years, starting with the freshman class and working our way to the senior class, we succeeded in doing that. And part of the reason we succeeded in doing that was that we had the collaboration of an extraordinary principal. I'll speak her name. Her name was Irene DeModa. She was great woman. She died in a scuba diving accident. And the work, and so the Chicago Public Schools did what the school district's supposed to do. They appointed another principal. Under the leadership of that principal, what took us 8 years to build collapsed in 18 months. But my point in telling you that story is not to vilify that principal. Chicago's public schools did what they do, appoint a new principal. He did what he does, runs a school. It was my responsibility, our team's responsibility, to create change that was resilient, change that could survive leadership change, because leaders change, your friends die. But good ideas should survive, and we didn't do that. Now, fast forward some number of years, I think coming into contact with improvement as a discipline helped me understand that there are things that we can do to build in organizational resilience to powerful ideas. The things that we heard folks talk about earlier are examples, but too few of our colleagues in the world beyond this place have access to doing that work every day, and that's our job. So I think that improvement is the best chance that we have right now for young people to come in contact in a sustainable way with powerful ideas every day at school. And I stay in this work because the promise of getting better as a function of those ideas, I think, is the single most important thing we do. And so, coming to our meeting here today helps me understand, the other question they asked us to think about a little bit was what you are most proud of. Through a lot of serendipity and really great colleagues, I was part of the group of people who started our field thinking about this work. And I'm proud of that, not so much because I was there at that, but I'm part of that because those ideas got transformed, reshaped, regenerated in you and lots of other folks who are taking them forward to do the kinds of things we heard about in our first story. So I am deeply, deeply proud of the fact that this work exists, this work is good, this work has caused change, and this work will cause yet more positive change. So thank you very much. I'm pleased to welcome next Alicia Grinnell, who joins us from the Improvement Collective in the Bay Area. And it says here she's a longtime improver, that she is, but she is a real star. And I don't know if any of you currently popular on, like the people on sports TV, they use the term star in your role. Alicia's a star in her role. And her role is to help us get better. So I'm welcoming you to the stage. She's my great friend and colleague, so I'm very happy to do this.
Wow,